Hello and welcome everybody to our second episode of Bullion Bros, featuring somebody that, again, I think everybody at this point has recognized. This man only has like 6 videos, but has left a resounding impact very quickly. We have none other than the Punisher Stacker, and I appreciate all of you guys hopping in. We do have this going live. I do see the live stream audience. Thank you so much for hopping in. Click that like button, say hello, leave comments. If you ask a question throughout the live stream conversation here, I can't guarantee that we'll get to every single one of them, but we will try our best to bring those to attention throughout. So anyway, that being said, my man Punisher, how the hell are you this evening, sir?
I'm good, Paisan. Thanks so much for having me on your show.
Excellent.
I appreciate it.
No, it's my pleasure. And you want to start by just kind of telling us a little bit about, just how you got into, I guess, watching stacking YouTube channels and kind of what inspired you to start stacking yourself and kind of just jump with both feet in?
Sure. Well, I think it all starts with I used to collect old books and old comic books and things like that. And to me, it's kind of a generational thing. If you're not really like the baby boomers or the other generations that close to that, uh, the mood ain't there right now for people to be buying, $50,000 books, $100,000 books, even though people still do that. But as that generation gets older, I wanted to get into something else different that's always been around because money's always been money, be it
Yep.
5,000 BC or today. It's always money. And I thought that's very interesting. Let me start checking out these channels. So I found it on YouTube and just started watching for about 2 months. And I realized, I kind of focused on what I would want to do based on what other people were doing. I didn't want to do exactly the same thing. Personally, I might have a touch of OCD, even though when I was growing up, people didn't, have terms for everything. I just like things that are all the same shape.
All right.
So that's why I kind of decided I'm going to start collecting like silver eagles or silver maples, gold eagles, gold maples, and kind of sticking to that genre for now.
Awesome. Yeah, I get what you're saying with moving from one market to the next, because markets really do have seasons, right? They go up and down. There's interest and there's lack of interest, so to speak. And I think that, everybody shouldn't get so, I mean, especially if you're doing it for sort of like a business in terms of flipping or, I don't know, as you get what I'm saying, you're like investing into it, so to speak. Like, you can't get too attached to it. You have to kind of look at it and go, what's my entry, what's my exit, and does it make sense to kind of continue with this, right? So
Right.
yeah, man,
Right.
I get it completely. I did the same thing with trading cards. And so you said you're primarily focused on American Silver Eagles. Is that what I heard? Because they have all the one uniform shape, one tube, one one container, kind of, so to speak.
Well, I all I have right now is about 50, I think, silver eagles, and I've also ordered some silver maples before the 1st of
Hmm.
January, and I've got a gold eagle and a gold maple. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I am buying things too, but a lot of things I buy it's because I want to give it away.
Yeah.
I know this is a weird thing to say for people that collect money, but money's not that important to me. So the prices, I can understand where some people do market watch and say, "Oh, it went up $1.25, it's down 52 cents or whatever." I don't really pay attention to that because being new, it's just the price is the price.
Hmm.
If I got to buy milk at 2.50 a gallon or $1 a gallon, I still got to buy the milk. So I'm just buying at whatever the price is. If I get lucky and hit it on a downward slope, that's fine. But I do enjoy giving to others, and that's kind of the reason why I'm doing like the giveaways and the contests and things like that. Right off the bat.
Yeah, you're doing. I mean, your generosity has been very large, and I'm sure everybody appreciates it. I know it's exciting, not just to receive something, but it's exciting to be kind of like the initiator there, right? Being able to provide the opportunities and see people get happy. And it was at Christmas and New Year's, and I know you did the 12 days of Christmas giveaway, and that was awesome, man. I was watching and participating. You did that freaking quiz, man. I was like, I don't know trivia. I'm gonna watch and just sit back and enjoy because I'm out, boys. I can't get this. Unless somebody gave one to me, because that was a really good time, man. And I know you got this tournament coming up. Do you want to take a second to kind of just I don't know if you got a video coming out for it again, but you want to talk about your tournament and
Yeah.
kind of what's going on?
So the tournament is something I did in the past in different platforms. I guess I'll put it that way. So I actually started getting into the internet and doing things back when there was only forums. So
Yep.
believe it or not, back in the days in the early 2000s, late 90s, there was no YouTube, of course, but there were forums, and I wanted something to focus on. My energy and my hobby at that time was coaching youth soccer because I have all girls. So it was girls soccer, and I realized there was these forums to do it. So I worked with another guy who was fancy with the internet, able to make nice stuff, and everyone had an avatar.
Yep.
And so I became his chief moderator, I guess you'd say, at the beginning, until I became the administrator later on. And my name, believe it or not, was Dragon.
Nice. Nice.
So I have a big the word dragon on my back. My wife has a dragon tattooed down her thigh because we were both born in the year of the dragon.
Okay.
So we're 12 years apart, but we both dragon. So my name has always been Dragon. Obviously, I know I watched one of your videos where you wanted to have your name Silver Dragon initially, but that was taken, you said.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we all know
Some
that
jackass
person,
took my name, man.
the nerve of people, huh?
I know. He didn't consult me first or nothing.
So, so it's funny that there's other people out there too. I actually, on my camera, this was my avatar, a picture of this character right here. I'll put him on my camera. If you can
All right,
see
cool.
that dragon.
Yeah, that
If you
looks
pull
good.
it up, yeah. So that guy right there, that's oh, let me move it back a little bit.
There
So
he is.
that dragon's name is Fin Fang Foom. He's was created in 1961, about 10 months before Marvel's first big hit, which was the Fantastic Four. And I've always liked dragons, being born in the year of the dragon, so that's why I chose that name. So it's kind of neat to hear your story and other people that like that as well,
Yeah,
because
so I'll tell you real quickly. Like I've been a fantasy nerd for a while, and I don't know. Dragons have always been that thing, right? They're the big beasts, but they're also intelligent, and they collect hordes of treasures. And for me, honestly, my hoard of treasure is knowledge and books. I love to read. I read tens, 30 to 40 books a year. I've got piles of them all over my house. I look like a mad librarian or something, a scientist, because I have books literally piled in every room of my house. But I love to read, and so a lot of the like artwork and all that stuff I have in my house are dragons. But um, I was just ribbing earlier. I actually really enjoy Silver Dragon's channel, but I was trying to find something, and honestly, Dragoon was kind of like this knight figure from fantasy
right,
games, so that's kind of where it came from. So that's why the logo is the Molaneb, helmet, I guess you can say. But yeah, also like the idea that like it just kind of a dragon protects his horde, and that to me is like kind of like my home, my castle, and everything inside of it, and I want to protect it and grow it and acquire more. So yeah.
no, perfect. It's funny because I did not know. I'm out in Washington State.
Okay.
I live up in I live up in the mountains, actually, in a fifth wheel, believe it or not. I don't have a lot of space here, but the home I bought and own, I let one of my daughters have that. So me and my wife are kind of traveling around with my youngest daughter. But I know that now that I have taxes in my state, I'm going to have to drive down to Oregon. I was asking people, like, is there a good place you recommend in Oregon to go? And Kalilo, is that how you say his name?
Kalilo, yeah.
Yeah, Kalilo had recommended a couple places. He goes, go to this one at Harry's. I'm like, okay, let me look up the first one. And I looked up Harry's. I'm like, holy smoke, that's that guy that's on the other Silver Dragon.
Oh yeah. Harry's
So I
coin
can
shop. There you go.
Yeah, it'd be funny if I go down there the first time, like, you look familiar. And he'd be like, oh, did Silver Dragons recommend you? I'm like, never heard of the guy.
Who the hell is that? No, I came from
Never heard of
Adrian's.
him. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of good YouTube stuff out there. There's a lot of good content, which is kind of, draws us all in, I think. And, any idiot with a smartphone can do what we do, I guess, at the end of the day. So it's fun though, man. It's what, like, my way. I talk about it quite a bit. I'll continue to talk about it, but for me, like a lot of the best things about this community are really it's the people that you meet and the genuineness of everybody. Like I've been in some communities where there was a lot of like you could tell obviously fake people or people trying too hard, people doing this. Like this community feels like it's a lot of people that just genuinely want to do the best that they can for themselves and their family. Like they want to like learn and grow, and they have a money mindset and like a prosperity mindset. There's not this like limitation of, oh, if this person's successful, then that means, I'm not going to be successful. Like everybody can kind of lift each other up. So I've been finding it extremely rewarding to be a part of, and that's why I kind of go as hard as I do into it. It's just, I mean, it's just a lot of fun, and not to mention we get to see really cool stuff that people find, and it kind of makes you want to go out there and find some new silver. I got a buddy who's actually in the live chat right now, and he's sending me text messages today of all these fancy coins and things, and I'm like, God dang it, I just bought a whole bunch of stuff, and now I want to already get online and go buy some more stuff. Like, calm it down, calm it down.
Right now, where you're at, you don't pay taxes on gold or silver when you buy it.
I do not know.
Right, man. I'm so mad at my state for starting that mess. It
Yeah,
started
you need
exactly.
to move to a state that's not controlled. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, my daughters live here, so we're
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
get
in
it.
the
I get
area
it.
most of the time. But yeah, the night I just tested it, I'm like, I bought a bunch of stuff on the 31st, and then right when midnight happened, like 1 second after midnight, I went to like uh SD Bullion and Atmex and even eBay and everything I like to put in a cart just to
Hmm.
see what the price would be. The tax was instantly there.
Ouch.
So like
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
tough.
buying, paying $480 for a darn, golden eagle. I'm gonna have to go find that at a store somewhere.
Yeah,
So
so are you've got some gold and some silver. Are you still focused on silver with silver? You said the price is the price. You're just kind of new to this, but
right.
there is a change in just the last few months that you've kind of said that you've been participating in the market. It has changed quite a bit in just a few months. Are you still focused on silver only, or are you going to start focus on gold? Do you have a change in that?
Well, I think in my head I didn't really have a goal per se, but I would love to have, oh, I don't know, maybe feel good if I had 1,000 ounces of silver.
Yeah.
I guess would be a nice pile. And then I'd like to just I also like the way platinum looks, so I wouldn't be
Hmm.
surprised if I dip my toe into the platinum pool.
Yeah.
uh so maybe I don't know, it's so tempting when you see like a gold Libertad or one from Cougaran, which was the popular thing when I was growing up. That's the only gold you ever heard of. In spy movies, they were always stealing Cougarans or whatever. Uh, but I also listen to people saying they're harder to move. If you ever had to sell them or you wanted to give them away, I'm not going to, uh, ever cash it in. I don't foresee myself having a financial emergency because I've been blessed enough to, once I paid off all my debt around 2013, I've, built up everything else. I have life insurance. Everyone has a savings account in my family and no one else works. I mean, wife wise, she don't ever work.
Yeah.
So unless she's making me a sandwich. So then she works, I guess. But I I save money for everyone so that way they're well taken care of. The military also has like a savings beneficiary program or something. So sure get 60% of my pay
Hmm.
besides the life insurance, beside anything else I have coming in from my state. I work for the state as well of Washington. So sure be taken care of. And so what I'm thinking is I just want to, I don't know what I want. I'm really bad, almost like once I get into something, it's hard for me to get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
get it.
I think I'll just rotate, like get a gold. I want a gold, I have a gold maple and gold eagle, but I'm going to try to stick to that. Uh, and then my goal next is to get a uh, eagle, platinum eagle, and a platinum maple. And then I'll work a little bit on all of those until I get to the 1,000 ounces of silver. And then I'll start trying to just get as many gold nuggets, 1 ounces as I can. I do like the little ones that people collect,
Yeah.
but it'd be too much for me to handle. I just like everything one size for now.
I look, man. I started very similar to you, and something happened. I guess I bumped my head or too hard or something. Maybe when I was coaching or what. But all of a sudden, there's no conformity in anything that I buy anymore. I got half grams, grams, 1 ounces, 10 pounders. I got decorative bars, decorative rounds. I've got things shaped as pistols. I went off the deep end somewhere. I don't know what happened. I gotta get somebody needs to reel me back in and go back to just sticking with like Britannias or something, like something simple. I don't know what happened, man.
I think I'm the type of person that might fall for that too. That's my problem as well. It's just some things like the little bullets I bought and stuff like
Yeah.
that. The 5 gauge shotgun thing. I'm like, oh, look how cool that looks. And I bought it and I didn't even think like, oh, that's not part of my plan. Why did I buy that? But I'm glad I did. Um, but right now I just want to focus on I truly I know a lot of people will say this and I can't prove it to anyone. They just have to get to know me to trust my word. But the biggest thing in my life is my word. And when you tell someone you're going to do something, you do it. It's like shaking their hand. You don't go back on your word. And
Yep.
I know for right now, I don't care about subscribers per se. Now, I may say something sometimes and it just slips out like, hey, make sure you subscribe because it's just been ingrained in people over YouTube. All this one, you always say, hey, hit that like button, hit subscribe, whatever, like, share,
Yeah, yeah.
subscribe. It's kind of ingrained in our vocabulary. But I truly don't have any interest in ever being monetized myself personally. Um, Tax wise, I don't want to pay any more taxes than what I'm paying right now. And earning from earning just like selling on eBay, it's like a separate business you have when you're selling, and you got to add that to your taxes. So
Yeah.
uh, I don't have any plan on that, and I do like to give away stuff though. I was born on Christmas, maybe that's why I feel like I'm some Santa Claus or something. So I do that at least once a week. I fill up someone's gas tank, or
Yeah.
I'll jump into a line of someone that looks like they deserve it. If someone's looking like they're begging for money or asking me for stuff, I won't give them a dime. I never loan money. I've only given money because I don't like that feeling of someone owing me a penny.
Yeah.
Because then when they don't pay up, they're done. I don't want nothing to do with them.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't
Like,
want to. Yeah, it's just that weird feeling. You get this feeling like where you're like, well, the dude said he's going to pay me back, so don't. So I just found early in life it's better not to loan people stuff,
yep.
but giving people, you kind of relieve yourself and them of that burden. If they want to feel reciprocity, like they need to buy you lunch next time, then by all means you can buy me lunch. But I don't want to feel like you owe me a lunch.
Exactly. No, I fully understand where you're coming from with that. The whole idea of the borrower is slave to the lender, right? I don't ever want to be the lender, the guy that destroys that relationship because somebody's indebted to me. I give pretty openly and freely myself in a lot of different aspects of my life, and I think that the key is that you always have to do it without any expectation of reciprocity, right? Like
Right.
if you're gonna give something to anybody, you give it. You don't give it with conditions. You don't give it like if you're gonna do all that, then just don't give it in the first place. Is my mentality. But yeah, I'm with you 100% on what you're talking about, and I think generosity is a great it's a great thing to do because you can create joy for other people, but also you can make an impact. If you're doing it in your community or you're doing it whatever, you can make an impact throughout. And I always say is, when I'm blessed to be in a position where I can be generous, I'm going to be generous because I know there's going to be times in my life where I can't be and that I might need to depend on other people. So if I can help 1,000 people a year, well, maybe God willing, one day when I'm on hard times, there will be somebody out there that can lend me a hand too.
Right, right. I mean, it's just it's your life. You only live once, here on Earth, regardless of what you believe. I mean, unless you're reincarnated, right, as a mantis or something like that. But you won't have pockets to put coins in. But I just feel I
Yeah.
have this one chance just to feel like I'm a good person and try to be a good person. And it just makes me feel good. So in a way, it's nice to give stuff to others, but in a way, it's selfish too because I'm doing it because it makes me feel good as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. There is selfishness in giving for sure.
yeah, like for the, I think we were talking before we started live. Right now, I have the 5 ounce bar I want to give away to the winner, but I'm also thinking like, gosh, I'm gonna feel bad for the people that come in the final four. What am I gonna get them? And so I was looking at the cost of like a roll of 50. I think it's a stack of 50 silver
Now you
dimes or
owe me
whatever. Because a lot of people
$5.
seem to
Smiley
stack that
face
kind of stuff.
emoji.
I'm like, oh, those are only $270 a piece. Maybe I'll get 4 of those so they can all have something, you know.
Yeah.
Looks like you owe someone $5 or $4.99.
Yeah, I didn't expect the super chat. I forgot that I turned on text to speech. It gets me every time. I'm sorry that you know what I'm gonna smack my computer once or twice for you tonight for interrupting you in the middle of your talking.
No, go ahead.
No, I they threw me off, man. It threw me off my game. I didn't hear that, but yeah, I just
Stay a while and
all
listen.
right. We gotta turn off the alerts. 1 second. One problem with going live, huh? Doing this live, you get all this stuff. I apologize, sir. I don't even know where the alerts are on at, honestly. But anyway, we were talking, dang it, before we got rudely interrupted. No, I appreciate you, Thousand. I'm just kidding. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's I don't know. Maybe we can hard switch to the collectibles because I think there's a lot of comparisons, I think, between the collectibles markets and grading, right? Finding good copies. And I found that when I was switching from trading cards to coins, especially numismatic type older coins, graded coins, have you gotten into that? Have you looked into that? Because I would be curious to hear what you think there are similarities between, chasing down mint copies of a book versus chasing down mint copies of a coin, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, with the coins, I feel like that pressure is off me. I like it raw. And you could ask any of my girlfriends, I'm always like stuff raw in my whole life.
I'm gonna take your
So
word for it, buddy.
yeah, you just had to take my word for it. So with coins, I don't try to put my fingers all over the silver, but I do hold it by the edges, or I'll wear gloves sometimes, or I started doing that. I just can't. I just don't like wearing sweaty gloves. It makes me feel, I don't know, it makes me feel my hands feel sweaty.
Yeah.
So I try to hold them nice, but it doesn't matter if your silver is toned or not toned. It's still an ounce of silver, and that's the point. So
My eyes are up here.
I understand that some people do like that. I got into that habit with comics. I grew up reading raw comics. There was no such thing until places like CGC started grading things, and now just PGS or whatever their name is. They do sports cards. They just got into it, and there's like 2 other companies that do it, and they grade comic books on like a 9.8 being the highest, mint level. And those, of course, are more valuable. But you can get into that, but you can never open it, you can never touch it, and kind of some of the enjoyment went away for me. So I don't think I will ever grade. I did buy that one graded one from Silver Stackers, but I used that for a giveaway because I thought other people might like it.
Yeah, no, I've actually bought just the last 2 weeks. I've bought I think 5 or 6 kind of like what I would call like micro fractional gold, gram, half gram, just those pesos, like that kind of size stuff. And I'm buying it because I'm trying to build a reputation up with some peer-to-peer networks so I can have more buys and sales and people trust me better or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten into like searching for graded coins, but I've started to look at my coins in a different way. You know what I mean? And Dowsner says eyes up here, right? I'm starting to look at my coins like a little bit more detailed and trying to determine, hey, is that a scratch? Is that a blemish? Is that a ding? And I'm trying to determine where I kind of think these would be. And so yeah, it's something that I might get into in the future, especially like if I start reaching some. You said your stacking goal was like 1,000 ounces. If I start reaching, my goal isn't really ounce or it per se, it's a percentage of assets, and I'm trying to get to like 10%. So when I get to that point with gold and silver and platinum, I might start looking at more and more fun stuff, or like to, kind of like mix up the hobby to add a little excitement in the life, in the bedroom for the coins. You get what I'm saying? So that might be something I get into just to kind of educate myself and, learn that side of this hobby.
Yeah, I think I won't say I won't get into that, but right now I'm just enjoying this right now.
Yeah, now I get it.
Something about that sound, I just love it. I feel like Scrooge McDuck or somebody that counts coins back in the old days. You can just imagine. But it's just a beautiful sound. I love the feel of it in my hand. It's just it's fun because I'm spending money on money, so I don't feel as bad as I did in Guilty. I remember one time I put it a book. Sometimes I'd put books on like a 6 month program, just because I wanted to put assets other places. I didn't want to put it all in one spot at one time. And I bought a $68,000 book that I
Jesus,
paid off.
what book was that? Hold on. What book was that?
It was Batman #1 from 1939.
Woo! Wow.
And looks like you got a new member.
Oh yeah. Go, keep going.
Okay.
I don't want to interrupt
Peter
you.
Piper picked a peck of pickled
I'm
peppers.
used to looking at the
Cool
comments
face
without being
emoji.
on the
Thumbs
main
up emoji.
screen. Yes, I can't
This
help it.
is getting
Like,
unhinged, Jesus. Thank you. Oh, jeez. We've fallen off the rails. I'm trying to learn about Batman #1 in 1939. Y'all over here. Oh, jeez. Whoa.
Yeah,
Goodness gracious.
I wasn't. Yeah, I'm not a big Batman collector, but I knew it was something. So, if you ever get into comic books, the two main characters that sell that are older ones are always Spider-Man or Batman are the #1 sellers for the prospective companies. More modern characters, which really aren't that modern for some of you watching because they've been around since like '74, would be like the Wolverine, anything first appearance of Wolverine and Hulk 181 easily goes for around $70,000 in a really high grade. So, and those will always sell. The problem is, there's other books that go through fads and all of a sudden they're portrayed poorly in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden no one wants that book anymore.
That's kind of like sports cards.
Oh yeah, I guess I could see that. Like
seriously, yeah.
Like, oh, I love what's his name, Mark McGuire. Oh no, he's on steroids. I don't want his card no more. Whatever.
Yeah, or I like this player, and he goes out and gets in a deadly car accident and kills somebody. Like or they just have a season where they're just terrible, and like they were the cream of the creme, 2 years ago, and now they're just terrible. And then you bought this really nice fancy card, and it just tanks in value. I never thought about that with comic books and stuff. That sort of the public sentiment and like movies that are out there would really drive it that much.
Yeah, it does, unfortunately. And some characters that were down on a down pitch, like Iron Man, was not very popular per se until the movies came out, and really he set the standard for like Marvel movies, and because it was a really good movie, the first one, they continued to be good, and his value went way up. His
clickety
first
clank,
appearance
clickety
from
clank, money goes into my piggy bank.
Than it's ever been. Back 20 years ago, it wasn't worth that much. But he's not the leading pillar. It's always Spider-Man for Marvel and always Batman for DC Comics. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, the OGs.
Yeah, my oldest daughter likes Pokemon cards, so all I know about Pokemon is you got to catch them all. That's about it.
My daughter liked Pokemon too. That's what got me back into TCGs and to pay attention to them. Stapler says Ben Affleck didn't help the Batman investment.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, I never got into the other cards or role-playing games like a lot of people have, like my son-in-laws and stuff like that. They're all into role-playing games and stuff because when I was a kid, I hate to say it, but I kind of was in the bully crowd. I'm not proud of that. I kind of feel bad about being that. I was the kids with the long hair because that was kind of the thing back in the 70s. If your parents let you have long hair or they didn't care if you had long hair, in a lot of cases, my mom didn't care. So, you were kind of the cool kids, and kids that did that stuff, before they even had the word nerd, we called them another word that was probably
my favorite color is clear.
Nerd, and it started with an F.
Let's not shout that one out over the channel here.
Yeah. And a kid admits he's doing Dungeons and Dragons or playing with cards or something like that, then he had to have some parking lot therapy and he was spitting chiclets by the end of school. Right?
Parking lot therapy. Oh man. So I had to balance that out because I was into cards and stuff like that, video games when they came out, but I also, played football and other sports. So I had to balance the two, right? The two different groups of friends.
That helped. Yeah, being born in New York, I didn't really get that mentality there. I actually got worse when my mom was forced to move to Detroit. And if you know anything about Detroit, like I know Eminem was born
That's
on
a
Eight
tough
Mile
spot.
Road.
Yeah.
We were on 6 Mile Road. So the closer you are, the lower the number, the worse the neighborhood. So it was a pretty bad neighborhood. I wish I lived in a fancy place like Eminem did.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had at least a double wide or something, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you had a story you shared a little bit earlier. I don't know if you want to share it again, but kind of just a change in your life where you shifted from what you're talking about to really focusing more on paying down debt and getting serious about your finances. I don't know if you want to share any of that or not, but
Yeah, sure. So I had told, maybe I'd mentioned it before to other people, but I never went to high school in my life. I dropped out at the eighth grade, my second year in the eighth grade, because I got held back for not going to school. Because I'm out there running schemes, trying to be like my dad, and my dad was just I guess you'd call him, his main job was like a loan shark enforcer. Let's put it that way. Always
oh
thinking
damn,
he's a
all right.
wise guy. You're always thinking he's a tough guy, but never enough full blooded to get invited. Never pricked his finger or did anything like you saw on The Sopranos or nothing like that, far as I know, anyways. But that was his dream, I think. He died a long time ago, but I wasn't into that kind of stuff. But I did kind of. You want to emulate your dad and have him be proud of you, right? So I
Yeah.
was running things. We'd go on golf courses and then sell golf balls to people for $1 when they're only worth like a dime back then, and things like that. I'd get some little kids younger than me and say, "Okay, you're working for me now. You're my crew. You're gonna go in that pool there and go get it." And they're like, "Well, my mom won't let me get my shoes wet." I say, "Take your damn pants off. You're getting in the water. Go get it." So we were running little things like that. And I got in some trouble time again. So when I was 16-ish, like that, I got into a point where I might have had to be put away. Let's put it that way. And so I decided to join the military. First, I joined the Marines. Um, that didn't work out after my first enlistment, so I switched over to the Army. Did that, and I became, which I consider myself pretty successful. Promoted up the chain pretty fast. Made my E7, which is a sergeant first class, within 6.5 years to 7 years. My first time.
Okay.
Then I met my wife in Hawaii. Decided to get out and just work there and live there. Uh, I worked in a prison there, like a federal prison or something on Oahu. Did that for a couple of years, but you can't really own the land there. You can buy the house, but you can't own the land. So I decided to go back in when 9/11 happened, because I had already been to combat twice earlier, with Operation Urgent Fury in '83, Grenada, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then Desert Storm. And I figured I was kind of blessed not to get shot to death. Not that I didn't get shot at, but I didn't get killed, obviously. So I wanted to go back in. I did that for a while, made my rank back because they had taken me back down to like a buck sergeant, and I had to earn back my E7. Retired, and I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something exciting that I had never thought I'd do in my life, never did. So I love the movie Wall Street. I love all those types of stuff where it looks like people are buy, sell, sell, sell. So I said, well, let me see if I've earned enough knowledge in my lifetime throughout the military and just being older, if I could be a stockbroker.
Yeah.
Financial advisor, as they're actually called. Just laymen call them stockbrokers, even though the company is the stockbroker, not the person. But
Stephen Hawking
that.
says, up
So
pointing
I
finger
went ahead and
emoji,
did that.
Hold on,
trophy
one
emoji,
second.
pretzel emoji,
Punisher.
U.S. outlying islands emoji,
Pause your story, one
smiley
second.
face emoji, carrot emoji, saluting face
Somebody's-
emoji, popcorn emoji, saluting
Jeez.
face emoji,
Mustard and Biscuits
saluting
in the
face
house, letting
emoji,
us all know he's here.
saluting face
Appreciate
emoji.
you, Mustard. Thank you. All right, it's over. Okay, please continue, sir. I'm sorry. The
No, that's
alerts
a
are going
good one.
crazy.
So Stephen Hawking says, "One chance to America, carrot." I don't know what it means. I'm just not too fond of the pickle and cucumber at the end, or the whatever that is.
I'm trying to not look.
Yeah, so I did that for a while. I worked for Edward Jones for 3 years. I had about $14 million under my care. I did really good at the job. I'm making $10,000, $15,000 a month. So you think like, wow, that's really good money. Why would you want to leave that? Well, what I did is during that time, I decided to make money by spending money.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I took every extra penny. I mean, I'm talking about we're eating hamburger helper, stuff like that, instead of a steak sometimes, because I wanted to pay down every single debt I had, and I had a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking, I had a Range Rover, my Jaguar, my wife had a big hopped up Hemi Dodge something or other. And then we had our truck with our fifth wheel. And so I'm paying down that. I'm paying down the house. And finally, when I got to that point and I paid off everything, it was about the same time that an old lady, she's dead now, so I'll say her name. Her name was Mildred. And she lived in a place called Onalaska, Washington, which is about 1,000,000 miles from Alaska, Washington.
All right.
or off. And she calls me one night at a Sunday, and she's all panicky. And back then, we had a cell phone that was you gave people your personal cell phone. You didn't have like a company phone. And she's like in a panic mode. And I said, "Hey, Mildred, how you doing? I'm with my family here. What can I do for you?" Because I was trying to let her know, "Hey, I'm with my family here eating dinner. Like it's Sunday night. Why are you calling me?" But I said it in a nice way, like, "Hey, I can take time to talk to you anytime, because she probably had like maybe close to 4, or a little over 4 million under my care."
Yeah.
And she goes, I gotta sell all my Apple. I gotta sell my Apple. I'm like, "What's going on, Mildred?" She goes, "Yeah, you hear? Didn't you watch the news?"
Mm-hmm.
"What? Go on, Mildred." And I knew what she was gonna say. And she goes, "Steve Jobs died." And I said, "Yes, he did." I said, "That was sad to hear that." Blah, 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 whatever. She goes, "I need to sell now." I said, "Well, number one, I can't sell right now because it's Sunday and the market's closed." I said, "But if you did sell, I could put in a sell order. And as soon as it opens at 9 a.m. on the East Coast, it would put in the sell order, blah, blah, blah." And I said, she goes, "Well, I really want to talk to you." I said, "Yeah, because I don't think you should do that, but I need to sit down and talk. How about we meet tomorrow?" She goes, "I need to meet with you now." I said, "Okay, well, do you mind if I finish my Sunday dinner with my wife and kids?" And I was hoping she'd say, "Oh, forget it. See me Monday morning." And she goes, "Yes, you can come tonight." So I drove all the way there. It was about a 47, 48-minute drive. And I'm just wearing jeans and a shirt. I told her I'm not dressing up. I'm not putting on my suit and tie. We sat there. I brought my legal pad. You always bring a legal pad. You write down notes so people think that what they're saying is important, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the old shtick you do.
Take it easy on the trade secrets, all right, Punisher?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. Don't worry. If they're using a yellow legal pad, it's for real. So basically, she's talking and talking. I'm thinking like, how can I change this lady's mind? She's panicking. And I'm telling her. So finally, she says, I said, "Well, the bottom line is it's your money. My job is to recommend you the best path to take to preserve your wealth, your investment, stuff like that. I highly recommend da 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 da." Right? She didn't want to hear any of it, no matter how much I buttered her up. So I took the yellow legal pad. I said, "Well, let me write a note here so I can make sure to do the sells in the morning." And I wrote in big letters, "Sell all Disney." And then I pushed the pad over to the right side of her little table where she had made me a cup of coffee and she was drinking some tea. And she goes, "Okay, thank you very much." She goes, what does that mean?" I said, "What does what mean?" I'm just looking her in the eye. She goes, I don't have no Disney." I said, "Oh, no, I know that. I just wrote a note for myself." She goes, "Why? What's going on?" And I said, "Well, I have Disney. I'm just making a note for myself for tomorrow." She goes, "Oh," and then she looks real close like I'm going to tell her a secret. She goes, "Oh, is something happening with Disney that I should know about?" And I said, "Yes, Walt Disney died." And she just looked
Nice.
at me for a second. And she goes, "What? You whippersnapper." She goes, "What are you trying to tell me?" I said, "Let me tell you right now, Mildred. I'm just going to be honest with you. And this is my last time. It's your money. If you want to sell it all, that's fine. But Walt Disney died in the 60s when his company is only worth like $4.5 million. Now it's worth billions of dollars. They own ABC, ESPN, Marvel Comics, blah, 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 blah. I said, you're excited? You just got the Apple 4S? And I'm telling you right now, there's other people that are probably trying to invent the Apple phone 10, which was funny because we're way past 10 now.
Yeah.
But I just convinced her, just because the flagship, face of the company died doesn't mean that company's going away. Needless to say, just me getting home at like 10:20 at night on a Sunday when I had to get up early the next morning and go to work, I said, this is worse than being deployed because I'm gone from home all the time, even though I'm just working down the street.
Yeah.
And so I decided to give them my 2 weeks notice. And the good news is, I don't know if they have these all across the country, but on the West Coast, they have this store called Fred Meyer's, which is like a fancier Walmart, I guess.
Okay.
And this old lady comes up to me and her hair is all poofy and like in a beehive and sprayed with thing. And she runs to me and goes, oh my gosh, Tony, I'm so nice to see you. And my wife's like, who is this old lady? And then she hugs me. And I'm like thinking, I don't remember who she is either, because it was like 2-3 years later. And then she goes, I'm so glad that you told me not to sell my Apple. And I'm like, oh, when it clicked in my head, oh, this is this lady. She must have got her hair done, because old ladies go into the beauty shop once in a while, get their hair all poofed up and stuff. And as she goes, you've saved me just hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I can't thank you enough. I said, well, thank you. And that made me feel good, but it didn't make me regret quitting.
Yeah.
So I basically moved from that and just did a financial stuff, open financial accounts for a bank Monday through Friday, banker's hours. Did that for about a year and didn't make nothing. Went from making over 5 figures to making like $15.80 an hour.
Yeah.
But I had paid off everything, so I was happy. And then they closed the branch and they said, hey, do you want to move to Federal Way or Seattle or all these places, which were like 30-40 miles from my house? And I'm like, nope. They said, well, we're closing this branch because we're opening this bigger branch. We want you to be the banker, financial advisor, whatever they call them there at this place. I'm like, no, I think I'll just turn in my notice. And I just sit around for about a month and looked at jobs. And I'm a veteran and I love veterans and taking care of them. And I saw a chance to work for for programs helping homeless veteran reintegration program and getting them off drugs, off the streets, getting them a job, a place to live. And I said, that's something that really is up my alley and I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing that since 2013.
That's awesome.
I'm having fun. Yeah, just enjoying life. And I'm glad I paid off all my debt. That's why I guess just being so darn poor when I was younger, just having what I have right now is good enough for me. I feel like almost any extra money I have, I don't feel bad giving stuff away because I can't take it with me.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids have enough. They need to work a little bit for stuff themselves too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that word financial freedom gets floated around in a lot of like different venues. And I don't think people truly understand that, what you're talking about is by paying off the debts, by getting yourself and your family in a good spot and, having money saved up to, cover yourself if something did happen, you have the freedom to change jobs, change locations, to help people. And that's the number one key to me for anybody to as like a reason to explain to them why they should get out of all their debt. And, it's just so you can live your life. You're not beholden to anything or anyone at that point. I mean, yes, we all have taxes and expenses and all that stuff. Sure. But there's a massive difference when you have, car debts and student loans and, credit card bills and, whatever, a washer replacement, AC replacement. You get the point. Like when all that stuff's piled up, I mean, you're just under pressure every second of the day, every day. And you're going to pop eventually. So it's just, that's why I think the number one thing that people can do is just seriously focus on their situation. You just grind. I mean, I don't really share too much of my story and I'm not going to bore everybody, but there was a point where I had, I think like 3 W-2s and 3 or 4 1099s because I got so serious about it. I just grind. I mean, I worked 7 days a week. I worked, days, nights, in between things. I would do, whatever ride sharing or whatever I had to do. And, because I had gotten to that bottom breaking point. I was like, something has to change. There has to be a change. And I'll go deeper into it another time. But, that's when I started listening to sermons and reading the Bible and really focusing on my own finances, my life, and figuring out like a plan and I really got serious about it. And I self-taught myself a whole bunch of, transferable skills and that I can take into all sorts of different types of businesses. And it's led me to where I'm at now, where I can, finally I can prosper and help other people. And also, you have to have money to like take advantage of opportunities, right? This whole idea of the rich get rich. Well, part of it's because they have the capital or the ability to move, money from one asset to the next asset or whatever quickly when they seize opportunities. There's a lot of smart people, like very smart people, who have that forward thinking ability, and they see things ahead of, ahead of other people. They just don't have the money to do it. Or if they do, they have like $50, they can't do it in an impactful scale. And so that's another reason why is just like, why do you want to work your entire life to pay other people to consume so that they can use your money? Like, because you're consuming their products or services or food or whatever it is.
Right.
Like, pay yourself, man. Like, put that money in your own pocket so that you can live the life you want to live in the future. And I did that. I mean, I grinded for many, many years to get where I'm at. And I've been an investor and saver for 20 plus years. And I would not go back and change anything with that. I would just change the work and the career I had. And I would have focused on, growing my career faster, or, building my own business faster.
Awesome. I've also been trying to read some of these funny things. These people are a hoot, I tell you. So I will say, yeah, Penny, I did mean Fred Meyer, not Meyer Thrifty Acres, like they have in Michigan. My mother did used to go there, though, because this guy that worked there kind of liked her, and my dad wasn't around a lot. And he liked her tall, long legs and blonde platinum hair, because my mom's not Italian. My mom was Norwegian. And he would give her that bread they were going to throw away at the Maya Thrifty Acre that they have in the Big Ten country out there. And we did live around Detroit for a while. And for, I think, Sober Stacker's wife, yeah, the two Utes that were in the parking lot is the one that was spitting chiclets back in the day. So that's your two Utes for you. He was saying his wife's waiting for me to say the two Utes.
Two Utes? Oh, is that when was that? I didn't see that message, but I'm glad you fulfilled the obligation.
Yeah, Silver said, my wife's waiting for him to say the two Utes.
Okay, all right. Another question. I saw another question that I told somebody we would answer at some point here. Bryce was asking, he wants to know, sir. Just got interrupted. Thank you, Dalsinair.
The rich don't super chat.
The rich don't super chat. The rich are busy, I guess. I don't know. He wants to know, on Monday, sir, what's the price of silver gonna be, Punisher?
For me, I don't even know what it is now. What is it now? I'll give you a guess.
I knew what your answer was gonna be, but so what is your prediction?
It'll be more than it is right now.
More? Okay, so we got a plus day. We got a green day tomorrow, boys. Lock it in.
Yeah, I think sometimes I was looking. One time I was like, well, where are they coming up with this Kitco Schmidtco? Is that like a Lego kit? I didn't know what they're talking about. I did look at those websites. So like the SD Bullion, the Summit Metals, and the ones that everyone's pushing. Like, oh, let me interrupt my video to tell you who's sponsoring me, right? So I went to those different websites, and AppMex, right? If that's how you say it,
AppMex, yeah.
So, and they have it up at the top there. I noticed that, and they're all different. So, like, how come they all have the different price there? They're only off a few cents. But I did notice that after that weekend, when it was gonna, last week from Sunday to Monday, it did drop, from being like 80 something down. And I said, oh my gosh, I can't look at this. This would drive me nuts if I looked at this all day.
Yeah.
And kept worrying about it. So if it goes to $100 and I need to buy an ounce of silver, I'm paying $100.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line. If I want the silver, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, I get you. I think SD Bullion these days is doing everything they can to see how high above spot price they can go and still sell silver at. It's crazy.
Yeah, someone today was saying, they did a video I saw, because I try to watch as many as I can, support. If I subscribe to someone, I want to at least watch their channels at least once a week. It's just hard to do because people put out like 5-6 videos a day sometimes. and it just is overwhelming for me. I don't have that much time in my life, free time, because I do have other stuff to do. But when I watch it,
This was
they're
absolutely
saying that
financial advice.
that the price was like $75, and their local coin store wanted to give them like $65, and Gabe's like, "Oh, it's too flexible right now, or the price is too crazy. We can't give you anything more than 65." So that's a little BS. I don't like that. If you're gonna, if you're gonna sell above spot, right, when it's super high, then pay just below spot when it's high. Don't say, I'm worried about it dropping. That's not a good business model.
Yeah.
Because if something like that to me, that'd be the last time I went in that store. And that's why I don't have a local coin store. I went there one time and I said, and I didn't know anything. I just knew the terms that y'all was using, like spot price, right?
Yeah.
And that's the price of what it's worth right today or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'd say, I said, how much above spot price do you sell? And he goes, for rounds, it's always $4.99. I said, $5 then? He said, yeah, $5. And he said, for American Silver Eagle, it's always, I believe he said $6.99, $7.
Okay.
I said, okay, what do you want? I said, do you have 10 American Silver Eagles? That was the first thing I bought from a coin store. He said, yeah, I'll get them. And I bought them, and I paid whatever it cost for 10 of them, right? And I paid his $7 above. And I said, so that's the way it always is? Yeah. So when I got money the next time, I wanted to keep buying from him so I didn't have to pay shipping costs and all this stuff. I went in there on Black Friday because he had told me, you should come back Black Friday. I'm having all sorts of deals. So I get in there. I said, yeah, I'd like to buy, can I get 30 Silver Eagles? And because I wanted to fill up the one tube and have a second coin stack, right?
Yeah.
And he said, oh, yeah, it'll be this price. And I'm looking at even though I just have a flip phone, it has a damn calculator. So I'm calculating it. I'm like, that's not $7. He was charging me like $9 over. I said, why is this? And he said, well, the price is going up, so I'm charging this. I said, but you told me last week, and actually it wasn't last week, it was earlier in the week, like Monday, and I went in there on Friday. So 4 days had passed that your American Silver Eagles were always $6.99. He goes, I don't recall ever saying that. I said, okay, thanks. And I just kind of looked around in the case, and I just said in my mind, F it, and I walked out the store, and I'm never going to go back there.
The greatest thing about capitalism is you don't ever have to go back.
Exactly. But now I have to go to Oregon or Idaho, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I've got an LCS near me that, kind of, they're playing the spread too. I do understand increasing your spread during these high volatile times. Like, your LCS, you don't want to get stuck with like unable to, procure inventory, prices shifting. Like maybe one day you're paying $76 an ounce, and then the next day, it's dropped to $72 an ounce, and you're buying at 75, and you're getting, I understand them trying to like protect their business and protect themselves. But what I would probably do is just put a cap on how much I'm buying per day, and just tell people, hey, I'm not buying today. This is the price that I can pay, percent under spot. But, tomorrow, like after I've sold some stuff, once I've sold some things, then maybe come back in tomorrow, or I could give you a call when I'm able to buy again. But I would probably put hard caps on just the quantity that I was buying, unless I needed to stock my shelves. But if I needed to stock my shelves, then I would be paying a little bit more, because that would mean that theoretically I have a high demand buyers population in my community, right? And therefore, like, it's going to move fast anyway, so there's not much risk. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Maybe not everybody cares. This guy, maybe he's just trying to maximize his potential during these uptrends. I don't know.
Yeah, he should have explained that to me. Don't just outright lie and say you didn't say it.
Yeah.
If you explained it just now, it would have been perfect. But I just bought all the rest of the stuff I got, the gold and stuff. I bought it from I bought it from one of the online places.
Yep.
And then they had one of them had like a special credit card. You get more money back, 4 points or whatever. So I did that through, I think it's AppMex.
Yeah.
I did that. So I don't want to pay tax, but at least I got like $591 in points or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess that's like $12 off my thing. So I have that sitting there. So I will make one more online purchase, but as long as I have to pay taxes in my state, unless that gets overturned.
Yeah, that's tough.
I'm just going to be driving to a place where I don't have to do that. Or I'm going to look into coin shows. I guess I don't know if people have to charge tax at a coin show.
I don't know the rules. I don't live in a state like that. I live in a state with a little bit of freedom. No, I'm just playing.
For sure.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't follow all the different rules and restrictions, but I would imagine, if you drove to a state that doesn't have taxes and bought there, I would imagine you don't have to pay the tax when you bring it back, right? You don't have to like pay property tax or anything on it, do you? For owning it?
No, I mean, who knows I own it? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm just gonna make that drive, and I love to buy stuff every week. I'm a buyer. I'm not a shopper. I like to buy. I know I want something, I just buy it.
Okay.
I don't like waiting. So that's gonna be hard on me, but I think I'll just wait and take, whatever I have, be it $5,000, $8,000, whatever, $8. It doesn't matter what it is, but I'm gonna go down there once a month and just see if Silver Dragon's boyfriend there, Harry, will give me a good deal or not. Hopefully,
hey, Harry seems like a nice guy. Harry, Adrian, those guys, they seem pretty good. They seem pretty solid.
I like all of those guys seem really nice. I'm like, it makes me wonder, is their business doing better because of the YouTuber?
Or is the YouTuber
doing better because of them?
No, I think it's a symbiotic relationship. You know what I mean? Like it's the plankton on the whale kind of thing. Because I'm sure they're both benefiting. Obviously, Dragons gets easy content to just go talk to the coin shop guys who have a lot of knowledge, and they get a lot of publicity as being good guys to talk to about coins and money and offering fair value. So I'm sure it's a pretty mutual beneficial relationship.
Did you ever have people comment on yours and say, "Oh, I thought this was the other channel"?
At first, when I first started doing this, like I kind of look at it. I hope I don't offend anybody in the chat that's here now, but I kind of looked at it as like a Spartan hole in the middle of the city. Like,
right,
if they can't figure out that I'm not trying to be that person and I'm not mimicking them and that my name is Dragoon and not Dragon, like, it's okay if they fall in the hole and I never see them again. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I did get it a lot. I got a lot of comments like, why would you try to steal somebody's name? That's pathetic. This and that. I'm like, brother, I could give 2 Fs. Like I don't care at all about that. I'm not here to try to become internet famous. I'm just doing my thing and staying in my lane. And if somebody's got a problem with it, they can move on. I'm okay.
How do they know? I mean, Silver Dragoon might be your birth certificate name, right?
Hey, I don't know. It could be. Also, what's funny enough is I actually looked up Silver Dragoon to try to find my own channel, and there's like 6 other dudes with the same like actually that are Silver Dragoon. And I'm like, oh, my bad, brothers.
I've been a dragoon in Wales and England for years. How dare you?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be the ultimate, right? TFT says, wait, you're not AI? What I should do is just go get those AI generators, for video, voice, subtitles, all that stuff. And I should do a AI Silver Dragons channel. Just make bank.
So, funny that you mentioned that, because I'm not really into technology. If I have a flip phone, I'm not the brightest bulb when it comes to doing all this modern stuff. But some people that create these thumbnails that look like little cartoon pictures of themselves, and they use the same style, not the same picture, but the same style. I don't think they're creating that, are they? Or is it something that's creating that for them?
You're talking about the AI?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how are they doing that, because it looks almost, even though the pictures are different, it's hard for me to distinguish it's a new video, because it looks almost the same as the last video.
So they actually, it's 100% AI. I'm not sure if anybody cares about this topic or not, but it's 100% AI. So what they do is they feed in AI to build a script based on current events that are engaging, right? That there's a lot of engagement on social media, so they'll create a current event out of that. The AI will create the image. The AI will create the entire script. The AI will voice the entire script, and then the AI will throw images up to support that script. And then this one's got some sort of like AI modeling going on with this person's, look. But it's right. just give it another 2-3 years. I don't know what's gonna happen. But yeah, I use AI as well, because it's getting better and better and better, and I can prompt it better and better, and like I'm getting I'm getting what I want much quicker now. So I use AI for a lot of, like the intro was AI generated. I mean, I put songs and stuff to it, but the intro was AI generated. The thumbnails, a lot of my thumbnails are AI generated because it's just like, what am I going to go do? Draw it myself, or I'm going to go get clip art off of the internet and put it onto a, an image. It's all the same to me at this point.
Yeah, it just seems. I just was curious at how they did that. Cause I'm like, oh gosh, I feel like I'm inadequate. I'm just taking a picture of my little piece of wood I bought from Walmart. I spray painted it black for my every thumbnail. Showing my coins. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's cool,
that's
but
okay.
yeah. So you're on a goal to get basically 1,000 American Silver Eagles? Is that as simple as it gets?
Well, I want as many. I would love to have as many gold ounces as I do silver ounces, but that's a
Oh,
lot of money,
yeah.
and that would take a lot of years because I'm not going to touch any other money to buy coins or bullion. I'm not going to sell my car, my truck, or nothing like that. I'm not going to, empty out a life insurance policy to buy it. I'm just going to use funny money, is what I used to call it. Just money that I don't.
Hmm.
I don't want to say I don't need it, but it's after I pay off my electricity bill and my wife's uh, PlayStation monthly bill, so she can kill people on the internet and stuff like that.
Nice.
Once I pay off all those little things and Netflix or whatever else she's subscribed to, then all that money that's left over is my money to do with what I want.
Okay. No,
And
that's the sophisticants call that disposable income.
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, someday I aspire to be a sophisticant.
Sophisticate.
Are you a sophisticant or a sophisticant?
Exactly.
Yeah,
No, yeah. I
but
mean,
yeah, I
that's what I'm doing right now is I've probably first started. I converted like some cash. I just took some cash that I had that was in a savings account. And I was like, okay, I'm going to convert this to silver. But since then, I'm just saying like, okay, well, rather than doing anything else with my money that I don't really care about, I'll just force myself to buy gold and silver, and therefore I can't spend it on anything else because it's already been spent, and I'm not going to go and sell my gold right after I buy it, right? So it's been a way for me to just kind of force myself to go into like saving hyperdrive in the last like 6 months. It's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, that I would say like the last probably about the same time, the last 6 months, I've just been selling off all my old books and stuff like that. Most of them put them at auction at a place out of Texas, and I've sold about $76,000 worth of books
Yeah.
uh, over that time. And then there's other things that I wanted to do with it. Like, hey, I'm going to use this money to build a new deck, or I'm going to do whatever off my fifth wheel or whatever.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Buy. I want some spinner rims for my Ram 3500 or something. That's a joke, but just get different things I wanted. And then with the rest of the money, uh, I decided what am I going to do with it, and that's when I started researching different things. What do I want to get into? Because I have to have something to keep me busy. Because my mind's always ticking, and I want to have something to collect, something to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I just what's better than money buying money? This is valuable things we're buying.
Yep.
It's stuff that's money for thousands of years. I love that. I love hearing the history of money. I love hearing watching videos on the history of gold and platinum and different things, how they came from outer space, and they're not generated here. They're not like diamonds.
Yeah.
The pressure of the earth crust can create a diamond, but nothing creates gold. Nothing creates platinum.
Pretty wild.
Nothing creates silver, right? I'm not sure about silver, but I think it'd be the same way, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think it's created from the earth. It's just got here from outer space, right?
yeah, correct.
Yeah, and I just think that's cool. How can we not like collecting this stuff? I think the community is such a great community because everyone's like-minded, regardless of the reason why you're doing it. We all enjoy doing it. I don't think anyone's crying over when they get that new roll of what do you call them? Mercury dimes or whatever, right?
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, I gotta get used to all the names. The Mercury dimes. It's so funny because when you're a kid, I can remember just looking at quarters or something on the side. I'm like, why does this one look different?
Yeah.
It'd be like '64 or earlier, and they say, well, that's a silver dime. I'm like, okay. And I put it into a I was going to say gumball machine, but gumball was only a penny. But, you spend that 25 cents at the candy store.
Yep.
You didn't see nothing of it. It didn't matter that it was silver. I actually found, I'm going to do a video on silver I randomly found in my house that I didn't know was silver.
I heard you talking about that in your first video, I think.
Why? Yeah, I found that one thing, but I've actually found, I think, 8 ounces of stuff in my house.
That's
silver,
nuts.
that's not, and I'm not talking about like sterling silver. I'm talking about 999 silver.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do one of my videos will be on that, like things people, Christmas ornaments, you used to be able to buy them at a store for like, they'd upcharge you because it's supposedly a silver coin, right? And it'd say baby's first Christmas or Christmas 1992, and it'd be like $8.99 or $9.99 or $14.99 or whatever the price was, and you'd buy it and hang it. But I didn't really think it was real silver. But if you look at some of those old things, you look at it, it says 1 ounce 999 silver. Like,
yeah.
Holy smokes.
We didn't appreciate it when we had it sometimes.
Yeah, it's just amazing how much the price of silver has went up. I guess that's so fortunate for people that have really been collecting it for retirement or some kind of wealth when they get older. Because even if they do get $10 below spot nowadays, it's still a ton of money more than what they would have got, back when they bought it 40 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things. My grandfather is a huge coin and currency collector and silver coin collector, and he's just got multiple safes full of this stuff. And I didn't really care for most of my life about gold and silver. I was more of that more modern stuff, stocks and things. And now I've kind of like found that it's a massive opportunity for me to kind of, share a mutual passion. And we talk coins and stuff every, a couple times a year. And whenever I visit, just talking about that stuff, having fun with it. And it's just, it's been a lot of fun to kind of like, pick his brain. He also says that he has this ledger that he's been filling out since 1980, where he was tracking all of his assets, and he would leave notes throughout the year, basically saying, the reasonings he thought like the economy was doing good or bad. And I told him, I was like, look, one day I want you to give me that ledger. It's like, I don't care about the numbers in it. I want to see your perspective of the history of the economy and what was shaping it and what was building your wealth and how that journey was like for you. So he said, I'll give you that book, but it won't be while I'm alive. So I said, I understand, sir. I understand. But I do want to read that book.
Yeah, stock. I was into that stock thing for a while too. I remember telling my wife, like, pick us up Burrito Supreme. She goes, didn't we have that last week? I don't want to. I'm like, damn it, I own PepsiCo. They own Pepsi and Taco Bell. I need some Taco Bell.
Oh, no.
Gotta make that go up or whatever. But yeah, it's fun. I'm enjoying myself so much. I appreciate you're the first one to ask me on a live stream. Other people have mentioned it, but no one has like come through and actually gave me like, here's a link or whatever.
Yeah. I'm very business oriented when it comes to these things. I like to just get in, get them done, and be professional with it. Don't waste each other's time. I don't like to, make people like, oh, let's delay a day. Let's delay. Like, I like to just be like, here, let's set a time. Let's commit to it. So no, I appreciate you were very easy to work with as well.
Well, and I appreciate it. And I'm going to put you on the spot right here in front of all 20 people watching.
Oh, no.
So I called you out in the video, and I'm not saying it has to be anything big, but you are a bigger channel that's not allowed to be in the coin collector kumite. So it doesn't matter if it's a silver dime, 1 dime, anything, sticker, could be a sticker, could be anything. Do you want to participate to the pot for the winner?
Yes.
Which won't be announced until I'm going to do it on my birthday. On Christmas Day, I'll do a live stream and announce the winner. Because the final 4, just so you know the way it's going to go.
Okay.
It's right now, people, I'm not saying people are cheating, but you could cheat. You can call grandma. In other words, you could create 5 Google accounts. and then email me or come to my comments and say, I want to vote for this guy. I want to nominate this girl or this guy. Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
all of a sudden,
fair.
tournament. And then when we go to the radio buttons, when there's a round of 32, you could use those 7 accounts you created to vote for yourself.
Ah, gotcha.
As it gets closer to the end, though, it gets harder. And eventually, when it comes to the final 4, the only people that are going to be allowed to vote for the final 4 are the 28 people that didn't make it.
Okay, so balances out unless those 28 people make a whole bunch of accounts and stuff, and
Yeah, and
split
that's
pricing and get these people.
yeah, and so that way the people that actually were in the fight, that were bloody on the mat with you, have to be the ones that are going to decide who wins. And then I'm just going to have everyone rank people from 1 to 4. So, and I'm basically going to average out the things, and we'll announce who the winner, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th place is on Christmas Day, which would be fun. So if you'd like to, I heard you say yes, so you don't have to tell me what it is now, but I'll make sure we give credit. If anyone else wants to be involved in it any more than that, that's fine as well. I can figure something out. But I think if some of the bigger channels, I see Thousandaire left now. If I'm going to ask him too.
Dust cropped us with alerts.
Yeah, anyone that
what did I say? Dust crop.
And I don't expect people like 2 to 1 or Silver Dragon. People have over 100,000. They're like, who are you now? They won't know or want to do anything. But people that obviously are doing pretty good for themselves, YouTube wise, it doesn't matter what it is. It could just be stickers and poker chips or whatever, or it could be a hobo nickel. I don't care, but just something to add to the pot, and it kind of makes it more of a community thing and shows that these bigger channels also are supporting the smaller channels.
All right, well, that being said, yes, I will commit right now to a minimum of 2.5 ounces of silver. I also got my my stickers are in. So my stickers are in. My poker chips are coming soon. So once I get the poker chips, I'll do a video basically announcing that I have chips and stickers. So I'll definitely send like a couple, chips and stickers and the ounces of silver. So it'll be a minimum 2.5 ounces.
Awesome, man.
We'll see how the year goes, if it can be more.
Yeah, Rural in the comments said, if I don't make it, I'm definitely donating. So just so you know, for anyone that's eligible to be in the tournament, you cannot donate anything until after it's final, the 32. And then if you for sure don't make it, then by all means you can donate. But up until that time, I don't want anyone to say, oh, he's playing favorites, he rigged the system somehow because this guy added a wood nickel, and so he wants to make Mr. Wood Nickel Giver win. So once you're definitely out of the tournament, or you're for sure not in the tournament, and we won't know who the whole 32 people are until October. So it's not something I'm going to nag about every video or nothing like that. It's just something fun to do every month. Do a quick video on, hey, it's time to nominate for this month. Pick 3 people. And right now we have a good number of people. And I'll probably do a little post just saying where we're at as far as, how many people have been nominated. And, the more the merrier, because you want to go up against the best. And when you win, if you're going to be that Jean-Claude Van Damme, you want to beat the biggest badass on the planet, right, to win that belt. And whoever wins also, just so you know, I'll tell you right now, you will not be eligible to win year 2.
It's all good. I think everybody here, just genuinely appreciates your enthusiasm for coming in here and supporting all the channels that you support. I mean, I know I personally try to do my damnedest to get out there and watch every video and like every video and leave at least a comment on every video, even if it's not like a truly thoughtful, engaging comment. At least you just throw some love out there. And I know you're doing the same. I see you everywhere. I see you passing out poker chips and stickers to people, and obviously hosting these tournaments and these 12 days giveaways and things like that. So I'm sure I can speak for everybody, but they're in the chat as well. They can say thank you. But I personally appreciate your generosity and enthusiasm. I hope that you understand that, you can be appreciated for more than just your generosity as well. So that's why I invited you on, because I wanted to get to know your story a little bit more. And it's been great getting to know you tonight.
Yeah, you too, you too. And I want to say to everyone that's still here or who watches the rewind that I really appreciate Dragoon, uh, not because I'm on the live stream, but because on most genres of YouTube clicks, like throughout different things, whether they're people that like UFOs or people that like water buffaloes, right? No matter what they are, when people get to 10,000 subscribers, and he's just about there, they don't chat with people that have 50 subscribers. They don't do live streams with people that have 100 subscribers, right? They stop replying to comments. You might get lucky if they give you a thumbs up, So for you, I really like you as a person because I've never met you, but and this there's no offense here, but you're someone that has 10,000 subscribers that still treats yourself like you have 100 subscribers, and treats the way you do things.
Well, that's
Like you
that's
can
my
tell.
point. I appreciate that. I mean, I don't see a point in ever thinking that I'm above anybody because of a number on a screen. You know what I mean? So, what's more important to me is
Right.
the people showing up, chatting, engaging, and just being around. And if I can be that person for other people, I'm happy to do it.
Well, I appreciate you having me on the show. It sounds like we're kind of wrapping it up. So I don't know if you have an outro song or we want to say goodbye to the chat or however you want to do it, brother.
And we could throw your song as the outro now. No, but
Oh,
I'll go ahead and close this out then. But yeah, first and foremost, absolutely thank you to every single one of you guys in the audience, whether you're in the background just listening from afar with your feet up on the kitchen table, drinking a beer or whatever, drinking a hot tea. Thanks for being here. If you're chatting, thank you so much, and of course, especially thank you to those of you who subscribed or donated money through the super chat program or became channel members. I will remind everybody that channel members, anybody is eligible to win my giveaways whenever I do them. But also channel members, you guys get additional entries for just being channel members as a support with like free shipping on stuff and all that kind of stuff. So there's all these little benefits that I try to throw in there to give back to you guys to make the value equal to what you're putting in. So thank you guys so much, man. This is the Punisher Stacker. Let me drop the link one more time. If you guys haven't gone over there, he's just kind of getting started on making videos, but he has been making a huge, gigantic splash in the community with people. Everybody's kind of recognizing him, and make sure you guys go over there and show some love and support. And it also just think about that as well. Like maybe there's some channels that you used to watch that you haven't connected with in a while. Maybe search them back up and share them, show them some love, because I know people out there are struggling, and doing YouTube content it can be a grind, right? You can lose sight of things and feel kind of alone out there and wondering if anybody's watching. So it's always nice to get those messages. But Punisher, man, you got anything else you want to say?
no, I just hope that Mustard on His Biscuits gets to 10 subscribers real soon.
Mustard and Biscuits. I think he's changing his name to what was it, Pickles and Bananas or something like that.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
All right, boys, have a wonderful night. Thank you all, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.